Hello, everybody, and welcome to Continutalks episode number 2. I'm your host for the Y2K Books episode, Maya Morrow, co-social media director at the Continuist. And my amazing guest today is Tanvi Vyas, and she will be coming in later. So, to give you an overview of what we're going to be doing for this episode, first, we're going to be talking about Harry Potter. And then Tanvi will be coming in and we're going to be talking about How to Train Your Dragon. I know sometimes she's kind of niche, but the best quality, if we're going to be talking about Y2K Books, it came out in 1999, so it has to be mentioned. Then our finale will be Percy Jackson. And I know a lot of you out here love Percy Jackson. I definitely do. So I'm so excited for today. I can't wait to talk about all of these favorite books that have literally been my life since I've been able to read. And this is all for the Continuist Y2K themed fall 2021 zine, Caught in 2K, and that will be out soon. So make sure that you're staying tuned on our social media at the Continuist for all of the updates on when we will be releasing the zine, as well as our launch, which is going to be a huge party. So if you're here, just you wait, because I mean, it's going to be the best night ever. Speaking from experience, my favorite nights last year were our launch parties. So you have to go. All right, rolling into our first segment, Harry Potter. Starting off, when talking about Harry Potter, we have to talk about what the author J.K. Rowling is currently meaning to us in this world right now. If this is a trigger for you, please feel free to do whatever you need right now, and I will give you a wave when I'm done. In recent years, J.K. Rowling has made several statements that suggest a growing alliance with TERFism, which is trans exclusionary radical feminism, or the belief that trans women aren't women and that biological sex is the only factor that determines someone's gender. We do not support J.K. Rowling in any way and stand with every single individual who has been hurt and affected by her, not only in recent years, but since the beginning, with many problems embedded within the books, such as racism, queer baiting, lack of multiculturalism, and much more. Whether you have reclaimed Harry Potter by participating in the fandom that we all created together without J.K. Rowling, aren't able to separate the author from the wizarding world or anything around or in between, your choice and grief is valid. Today's topic is Y2K Books, and how could we do an episode without talking about Harry Potter? So with all of this in mind, let's talk about it. So first off, Harry Potter was literally the reason why I learned to read when I was a kid. It was my personality. It was my life. I used to get in trouble at school all the time. Like I used to get in detention when I was in grade 3, 4, 5 for talking about Harry Potter, constantly interrupting my teacher. Like it was my entire personality. I genuinely thought that Harry Potter was real. And I always thought that it would be, well, my parents always thought that it would be a stage, but it's not a stage, Mom, because I'm still obsessed. It's my favorite thing. So first of all, we're going to look at the Harry Potter movies. I'm personally a fan of both, but obviously the books are better. But we're just gonna, first of all, kick it off with looking at how depressing, well, how cute the Harry Potter movie intros start with the do-do-do-do-do. And then at the end of that clip, we're gonna skip to the last Harry Potter movie, The Deathly Hallows Part 2, and how ridiculously depressing the soundtrack is. So we're gonna take a listen to that first clip right now. So like, it was pretty cute, right? I mean, there was a little bit of darkness in there, but it was light. And then we switched to the last Harry Potter movie and just take a listen at the most depressing thing you'll ever hear in your life. Honestly, I don't know about you, but that made me really depressed and sad. I mean, obviously, when I'm watching Harry Potter, I love it, but the last couple of movies, especially the last two, whew, it's really heavy. And I don't watch those to bring out my mood. I don't know about you, but no, thank you. Well, moving on to the topic of my favorite books, The Half-Blood Prince is my favorite book. Definitely not my favorite movie, but if you haven't read The Half-Blood Prince, I highly recommend it. Then The Goblet of Fire. The Goblet of Fire is so good, and there's so many good Quidditch chapters, and it really dives deep into the characters. They're going through the heat of puberty. It's intense. Everybody's moody and crazy, and it's all over the place, especially Ron. And then my third favorite book, which is my favorite movie, is The Chamber of Secrets. Then we've got The Philosopher's Stone right after that, not The Sorcerer's Stone, ew. And then we've got The Deathly Hallows, which is a good book, but like it just the whole time Harry's kind of just, I mean, rightly so, hating everything, and he's super unhappy and whiny, and it gets a little bit repetitive if you ask me. But then The Prisoner of Azkaban, my second to last favorite book, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It's so good. I don't know. I don't really have a particular reason why I put it there, but the movie is incredible. If you speak to a lot of people, that's their favorite Harry Potter movie. And then Order of the Phoenix, I just don't like Umbridge. She's a great villain, but I just don't like her. She makes me upset. So moving on to memes, Harry Potter memes, like that's an extremely important part of Harry Potter. And I know that a lot of us growing up together, us 1999 to early 2000s kids, we were listening to Harry Potter Puppet Pals and Harry Potter in 99 seconds. So let's just take a little sneak peek at Potter Puppet Pals, the mysterious ticking noise. This is the ending. Because
Harry Potter, I'm Harry Potter, I'm Harry Potter, Harry Potter, singing our song all day long at Hogwarts. I found the source of the ticking. It's a pipe bomb. Yeah!
Yay! That's all I was watching in grade 2, 3, 4. It was literally constantly playing in class. Everybody was obsessed. I don't know about you. I'm still obsessed. If you haven't watched that full video, go do it now. Or, well, after this, because you want to listen to me. You want to keep listening to me. So the next meme, YouTube meme, I guess, is Harry Potter in 99 seconds, and it's 99 seconds long, and it's really, really good. So we're going to be listening to that. Also, you should be checking out the people who did this. Their YouTube channel is just fire. So if you like what you hear in this next 20 seconds, keep exploring. Okay. Harry Potter in 99 seconds.
There once was a boy named Harry, destined to be a star. His parents were killed by Voldemort, who gave him a lightning scar. Yo, Harry, you a wizard.
Harry goes to Hogwarts, he meets Ron and Hermione. McGonagall requires he play for Gryffindor. Draco is his daddy's boy, Quirrell becomes unemployed. The Sorcerer's Son is destroyed by Dumbledore. Ron breaks his wand, now Jenny's gone and Harry's in mortal danger. Tom Riddle hides his snake inside his ginormous secret chamber.
It's just so good. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not even embarrassed to say this, but I memorized that whole thing, and I memorized it when I was like really young. I still listen to it regularly. So now we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll be going right into How to Train Your Dragon with Tanvi. So I can't wait for that. Thank you for listening to the first segment of Harry Potter, and I will see you soon. All right, and we are back. I hope you enjoyed your break. I hope you made some tea or coffee, or it's just now you're more cozy and ready to listen to me and our amazing guest Tanvi talk about How to Train Your Dragon, the book and the movie, but more importantly, the book. So Tanvi, she tells me that she memorized the first scene of the movie. Is that right?
It wasn't willingly. My poor family had to sit, like, remember when they used to rent DVDs at the library? When that movie came out, we saw it in theaters, and then every single week, I would make my mother rent the movie from the library so I could watch it at home. And of course, my siblings were all forced to watch with me. So eventually, after like the 15th time, I just started speaking along with it. And like to this day, it's like a natural instinct. And it's so
That's
bad.
so nice. I don't know. I respect it. I think everybody listening right now will respect it because we're all book lovers here, and a lot of us also probably love How to Train Your Dragon. So, should we listen to the first clip and see your talents?
No, you can listen to the clip and I will mouth along with it. So you can watch my random you can watch my random thing, but that is too embarrassing because I try to do the voices and it's bad.
All right. Okay, if you say so. Yeah, let's listen to the first clip from the first How to Train Your Dragon.
This is Burke. It's 12
Music
days
is so
north of
comforting,
hopeless
though.
and a few degrees south of freezing to death. It's located solidly on the meridian of misery. My village. In a word, sturdy. And it's been here for 7 generations,
I'm
but
too
every
embarrassed,
single
Maya.
building is new. We have fishing, hunting,
Oh my
and
God.
a charming
I'm
view of
gonna
the
actually
sunsets.
cry though. I haven't
The
watched
only
these since I
problems
watched
are
the
the
third
pests.
movie, and that made me
You see,
sob,
most
and so
places
now I'm just too
have
emotional.
mice or mosquitoes. We have dragons.
Oh my.
Oh, so good.
Oh my. Just,
Well, good job, Tanvi. I
Thank
can
you.
see the passion in your eyes, and I
I
really
It's
I
too
like
much
that.
of a comfort movie for me. I love it too much.
It's a good comfort movie. And like upon that topic, yes, the books are better. That is a fact. And we both agree on that. But the books in the movie are completely different. Like they're
Mhm.
the only things that they actually have in common are like it's more of a reimagining that borrows the world and some of the characters. It's not they shouldn't be totally compared because it's not like they're trying to like it's not like Harry Potter where they're trying
Mhm.
to give you stage by
100%.
stage what's going on.
That's honestly why How to Train Your Dragon is one of the only series where I liked the books and the movie, even though they don't match, because the books were actually still coming out until like the last movie came out. So the last book came out, I think either just right before the third movie or right after the third movie came out. So they were
Well,
coming
did you
out.
read it?
Oh yeah, I read it. I was like sobbing in
Oh,
Indigo. The poor people were like, "You can't stay here and read the book," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm buying it then. Bye." This is why every time I walk here in Indigo, my friends go, "Absolutely not," and I'm not allowed in.
No!
It's fine.
That's so funny.
But yeah,
That
so
doesn't surprise me. I love it.
because I was reading the books as the movies were coming out, I knew as a kid that like, oh, they're not going to be able to do the books because there's no finish to the story yet, right? Because it hasn't been written yet.
Yeah,
So I was totally willing to give
exactly.
them the benefit of the doubt in what they reimagined.
So I know that the last How to Train Your Dragon movie has already come out, right?
I think it was
I think that
2019.
yeah, it came out in 2019. Was that the last book as well, or did they kind of just create their
Oh
own
no, they
finale?
created something weird. I appreciated the last movie because it was absolutely stunning, but I think they really kind of rushed it because they wanted it to be a trilogy. But the whole universe, which they based off the book, was made to be more than three, right? Which is why there are, I think, like the 7 or 8 books. Um, and so it felt kind of rushed and like a repetition of the second movie. Um,
Hmm.
and it basically became like they got the main point, which is that the dragons leave, which is a main point of the book as well. But everything else was completely different, starting from like the
Yeah,
characters. Like I know you and I were talking about like shocker for everyone who doesn't know that Astrid and Hiccup like are not a couple in the books because Astrid does not exist in the
no,
books. She is
she
an
does not
original
exist.
character.
Hiccup doesn't have a girlfriend in the books, and he has like a friend, and her name is Kamikaze. And they borrowed some characteristics from Kamikaze for Astrid, but he's not the relationship type, to be honest. I don't know.
It
It's
works in the movies and the shows,
yeah.
but it does not work in the books at all.
He's a lot more charming in the movie, but he's also a completely different kind of character in the movie. Like obviously there's some of that like scrawny, innocent, nerdy boy in there, but at the end of the day, his best friend was Fish Legs, who is not his best friend, especially I'm sure most of you have seen the first movie, and if you haven't, go watch it. It's on Netflix.
I was so confused
But
watching the first movie and seeing Fish Legs bullying Hiccup because I'm like, no, they're best friends. What
I
happened?
know.
Anyway,
Exactly. Yeah,
there's so
like
many
Hiccup
differences.
seems like a much bigger loner because he doesn't have a close friend in the first
Oh,
movie.
right. The biggest difference, Toothless. Toothless is not a
Yeah,
night fury in the books. In the books,
no.
he's like the size of a terrible terror. He is
I have the book. I have it right here. Let me see if I can find like a photo of Toothless. He's supposed to be actually tiny. Like he's look. Can you see?
yeah.
No?
Oh no, it's cutting out because of your Zoom background.
Oh well.
But
You can
you
kind
can
of see.
Google it, you'll find it. And
Oh
essentially,
yeah.
that's part of the reason why Hiccup is looked down upon because dragon training is already established in the book. Like, Hiccup is not the one who creates it, it's his ancestor who creates it, right? And
Exactly.
so dragon training is already a thing. And the reason Hiccup is basically ostracized is because he gets a dragon who is absolutely tiny and he can't ride Toothless. So he's not up to the standard of the other Vikings. And that's like the main plot. And I don't want to spoil it because I truly think all of you should read it. But it's more, Toothless is more than he like appears in the books, and it's really cool when you get to the ending.
Also, something really fun about the books is that there are like drawings all throughout the book on all the pages. That's something that I loved when I was a kid. It's just these fun little sketches that really give you like just such a good view into the universe. Like the How to Train Your Dragon universe, especially in the books, is so detailed, and that's partly
Beautiful.
due to all the drawings.
Yeah. And also, one point I want to bring up, because I know Maya will be very upset if I don't, is that Hiccup's mom in the books is this amazing character, and her name is not Valka. Her name is Bertha. And she is essentially the Viking queen, and she is way stronger than Stoic, canonically. And so Stoic is actually staying back in the village to raise their son, while Bertha goes off and basically makes a name for herself, being a Viking like explorer, like fighting people, going on adventures. And she like and Hiccup have a very weird relationship because he knows of her existence, but she's not home very often. And she makes a name for herself. And that name is, I can't believe you're making me say this, Maya. It's Big Booby Bertha. That is her nickname.
Yeah.
That is how everyone references her. And that scene in the movie where Stoic gives Hiccup a helmet made off of Bertha's old breastplate, well, Valka's old breastplate, exists in the book. And I can't believe that's what they chose to replicate. I was like, wow.
I know. One thing though that I do love about the movies, to wrap up, is like, I think that Toothless is the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen. He reminds me so much of my dog, the way that he like jumps around and rolls around, and like I literally have pictures of Toothless on my phone just because like I always compare him to my dog.
Maya, you and I should reread the books together. I think that would be a fun exercise for both of us.
Yeah, we should do that, and you guys should all do it too. It'll be really fun, and please send us a message on what you think. But thank you so much, Tanvi, for coming to talk about How to Train Your Dragon. I know I learned a lot from this segment, and I can't wait to read all of the books together again.
I will be back for your next segment.
Yeah, which is going to be Percy Jackson. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in 2 minutes. All right, and we are back. It's Maya and Tanvi, and we're back to talk about Percy Jackson. I can't wait.
This is our summoning call to all those like Greek mythology, Roman mythology nerds in elementary school. Get in here, let's go.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be so much fun.
As a child with ADD and as an adult with ADD, because it never goes away, this book was the best, because it pretty much told you that if you had a learning disability, that's because you have a special power. And so I was like, oh my God, true, I am so special, aren't I? And so this book really boosted my confidence.
Maya, oh my God, me too. My twin brother has ADHD, and so as children, he's the one who found the Percy Jackson series, and we would read it together like every evening and like work our way through it, because we were just so excited to see him like represented in like this book. And like eventually I became more obsessed with it than he did, but it was like such a nice moment of my childhood. And it was like, I'm so glad we have like that same origin. And like that was the whole point that Rick Riordan used to like write these books, because
exactly,
don't know, he wrote it for his son, and it was so adorable.
It's so great. And like the books are just honestly amazing. I reread them. I'm not even over exaggerating. Like I finished rereading them a few weeks ago, and Tanvi, we were hanging out last year and we were talking about how I was planning on rereading them, and you were like, oh my gosh, you should. And then I did it, and I couldn't believe how good they still are, all of them.
They're very much children's novels, don't get us wrong, but
Yeah.
they do a very good job of covering like a variety of like topics, messages, ranges, and like it's still so digestible as an adult. And I'm like, I love it. I was on the TTC
It's so
last
good.
year, well, 2 years ago before COVID, and I saw this lady like reading Percy Jackson on the train, and I was like, yes, that is what you have to do.
It is the best. We're not even gonna talk about the movie because that didn't
What
exist.
movie?
Rick,
What movie,
no,
Maya?
didn't exist.
Nothing happened.
Rick
The only thing I
Riordan
know-
said himself.
Yeah.
He said himself that it didn't even happen.
Yep.
He made like an announcement when he read the script, and he was like, "No, this sucks." And then when it came out, he said like, "This is not related to the books. Like, please ignore it. This never happened."
Yep.
But you love the musical.
Oh, I love Maya, I'm literally studying theater. How could I not love the musical? Like, that would be such a contradiction. But the musical is great. The soundtrack is like on Spotify, on YouTube. I would 100% go listen to it if you haven't already. And I know the fandom already knows, but the show is being made, so we are getting some very good content soon.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for that show. Like, I'm thinking about it constantly. When we were talking back with Harry Potter earlier, like I know that they're trying to make a show or something for that. No, it doesn't. No, and it doesn't. I don't want it to. No more J.K. Rowling. No, thank you. And also, like, that universe, we don't need more adaptations. The movies were enough. But Percy Jackson, it needs it. It deserves it. And the world is so ready for it because that movie actually crushed my dreams.
It really did. It really did. But let's go back to the books. Okay, Maya, we're talking original 5 books. Which one's your favorite?
I loved The Sea of Monsters. I am a huge fan of Tyson, Percy's brother. I mean, I love all of the characters. I love Grover, but there's something so wholesome and sweet about Percy and Tyson's relationship. And I just feel like you learn so much about Percy, and the whole course of the book sort of changes in that moment.
So
how about
the
you?
musical is based off the first book. I don't actually like the first book as much as I used to, just because I have so much content around it now. But there's a very near and dear place in my heart for the 5th book. I think it's like The Last Olympian. I love it.
So
It's a whole roller coaster ride from beginning to end. I cried 3 times in the middle reading it as a kid because Beckendorf and it's so bad.
Also, the Battle of the Labyrinth was really sick. Like, the whole labyrinth and the way that whole universe of the labyrinth was like insane. And that book also introduced a lot of really good characters. And I just love reading the books and watching the characters grow up and they mature and they change. And it's just, I wouldn't change a thing.
I was so sad about, which is that when the Heroes of Olympus series began coming out and when now the wider universe has been built, I kind of had already outgrown Percy Jackson when the first Heroes of Olympus book came out. So I wasn't as into it as the original series. Like, I still appreciate them, but I just wasn't able to get into it because at that point I was in like high school and I had kind of like moved on. And because like I can reread the older books because they're like, I read them as a child, so it's nostalgia, but the newer ones I just didn't want to go through because it was just like, I kind of outgrew them. And it was sad.
Yeah.
But I got to watch my little sister reading them as she grew up, which was really nice.
Good for her. I'm happy for her. Yeah, I tried starting to read those once I finished Percy Jackson a few weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I don't need this. But if you've read it, please let us know how you liked it. I'm curious because
what's your favorite book?
Yeah, please tell us your favorite book.
Everything.
Like, we want to know because everybody has different opinions and different characters. Like, everything varies. It's not the same answer. So please, we are going to be closing this off, but we want to keep talking about this. These are like the most fun topics to talk about ever. Nothing beats the books from the early 2000s and the late 90s. Like,
books in general.
Y2K Books. Oh,
honestly.
yeah. It's my life. It's still my life. It's still my personality. Sorry, grade 5 Maya, but we didn't grow up.
So yeah, if you want to hear us talking about these again, I don't know, hit us up. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. You might see us again.
Yeah.
Check our Instagram.
On our Instagram. Yes. On our Instagram live. Maybe we'll do a segment. You can come in. You can ask questions. You can participate. We want to hear what you have to say because we love
Maya
talking.
and I were
I don't know if you
talking
can
over
tell.
the break, and we were like, well, here's 2 words. We're like dragon book. Well, 3 words, 4 words. I don't know. Dragon book
Words.
night. Okay. Dragon book night of the Y2K era. So that's something you want to see, and let us know, and we will gladly deliver. Everyone knows Maya and I are totally willing to continue ranting about books.
Yes. And we've got so many exciting new episodes of Continue Talks premiering this week. And the next episode of Continue Talks is Y2K Music with Eunice. And I don't know, I can't wait to hear about Britney all the way to Green Day. That's my favorite music of all time. And I know it's a lot of people's favorite music of all time. So remember that Cotton 2K, the zine publication at the Continuist, is coming out so soon. So stay tuned for that and more episodes. And we can't wait to interact with all of you on our social media at the Continuist. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.